Hey everybody, welcome to Magic Mondays. I'm David, that's Josh, that's Christian. Thank you for joining us so much. After last week, still kind of living the shame. I feel bad because the poster behind me is like mad at me now. Like, there were some poor decisions made, I'm not gonna lie.
Nicol Bolas got taken out. I think
that might be the first ever recorded victory against Nicol Bolas.
Yeah, I got nothing. Anyway.
So big rematch at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, whatever. I've been threatened by other people in the office now. Apparently people are bringing in decks now, trying to prove that I'm terrible at Magic, which, like, well, first off, that's not hard. Did you see the thing last week? Like, come on, man. I had Nicol Bolas. I whiffed on 3 of his big things, like, oh, cool, everyone has sacrificed a creature. It's turn 1 and no one's gone yet. Yeah. Okay, whiff. Anyway. But thanks for joining us on Magic Monday, guys. Hopefully you had a good weekend. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, shoot, it was great. You were ready to go. Spit it.
Go.
You got it.
Awesome weekend.
Cool.
You know, got to hang out at home, got to watch coverage of the Pro Tour, and sit around and play games. It was great. Got to play some limited PPTQs on Magic Online. I continued my streak of getting crushed in Ixalan Sealed. Well, it's funny though, because usually I'll be like good at a set or bad at a set, right? I'll be like, oh, I'm bad at the set, limited, or good at the set. In Ixalan, it's like weird, because like, I have been putting up the worst results ever in Sealed, which is my favorite format. I mean, we're talking like 1-4, 2-3, 2-3, 3-2 was my best over 4 Sealed. Over 4 Sealed decks. I was like 3-2, above 50. But then in the drafts, it's like I only play the single elimination drafts because I usually don't have time to finish them anyways. I've just been crushing the drafts, and I don't even feel like force like one, not always white black vampires, I'm not whatever. I'm just kind of bouncing around.
Like
but the drafts just seem to make sense, so it's really weird for me. It's been kind of a love-hate relationship online. I'm like 20% wins in Sealed, and then like 85% wins in draft.
So here's a question then, Sealed versus draft, right? Sealed, you have all the cards in front of you. It's almost too many options. Like, as opposed to a draft, where you're given something. Like, you have a limited selection. Do you overthink Sealed? Or is it...
I think it's probably easy.
A little bit, yeah, but it's also a stroke of luck. I mean, with Sealed, like, you get good pulls. I mean, because, like, the draft I did this weekend, there was some young players, which sometimes is beneficial because they might not know what they're passing.
Right.
Sometimes the colors that you wind up with, like the rhyme and reason, like when I was
all over the place.
I was sat in between 2, and like in each round, like
you got Boy Scouted, huh?
Oh yeah, we're sitting there playing, and like I was like, oh, you're 3 colors too. I like some sets, some people love. I, as a rule, never do 3 colors just because me and Lan don't get along.
Right. I get
hence my Friday night.
I get it.
But like each player I was playing, everyone was 3 colors. Where I was like, all right, let's hope you get a draw here.
Oh,
because it was just like I literally could not put together 2 colors to save my life. It's like, oh, maybe Merfolk's open, maybe Vampires open. It's like, I'm taking a big dino here and there just because I'm trying to hate draft it, and I end up playing them.
Oh, wow.
Which definitely...
That can't work well.
No.
Vampire Dino? I haven't
Parents,
seen that deck
teach your children how to play Magic, but teach them how to play Magic. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, that's awesome. It's always funny when you're like, okay, cool, so the guy on my right, alright, it looks like he's passing black, looks like he's passing blue, whatever. Yeah. You're like, okay, cool, and then you come the other way, and you're like, well, he's passing red and green. Oh, it's going to be a long night.
It's a delicate balance.
It's going to be a long night. I'm like, I wasn't passing him any black. What's he keeping black for? But anyway, I'm sorry.
You know what? It was great. Still got 2 packs out of it. So
okay. That's always a plus.
Yeah, half of the bag.
Half of the bag. Well, I had fun. We took the family out to a swap meet, and I ended up with a giant box of Return to Ravnica set block. And for $15, and Josh and I were going through it earlier today.
Yeah.
And Yeah, we made money on the purchase.
I got some charms in there, some few other things.
Yeah, there's some charms. There's some.
I know somebody's wondering, and currently we're at 2 Boros charms and 11 Skullcracks.
Yeah.
So
crack that skull.
Also, there
Way
were
over the
three
$15.
precinct captains and
Yeah, handful of
we've got
we'll
quite
call
a few.
Jankos, you know?
We've got some foils. We've got some foreign cards in there. Definitely, you know, I part of me wants to feel bad because the guy didn't realize what he had, but at the same time, I'm doing all the legwork trying to figure out what he actually has, so I don't feel bad at all.
No.
But it was fun, and it is actually one of those really weird things because I think it was the only Magic cards I saw in the entire swap meet. This was not a small swap meet.
Yeah.
And it was like, he's like, yeah, you want the whole box? I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even my wife's like, done. Let's
As
go.
a matter of fact,
We'll-
like,
we'll
you
go
need
back
to
to the
leave
car.
now
Yeah.
instead of having to stand here watching you?
Yeah, and as we get like 20 feet away, she turns to me, she goes, so how much do you think we're going to make on this? And I'm like, I don't know, we'll have Armando look at it later.
No, because then you're like, I want this, I want this
one.
No.
But anyway, well, that's good. You know.
Yeah, and I got caught up, I'm current with male drama, aka WWE wrestling.
Oh, excellent.
So, yeah.
I'm not.
Slow self-loathing
I'm
and
not
not having days
current.
off.
I am absolutely not current.
I
Road
realized my
warrior
whole
thing?
time on the road,
Too soon?
on the
Sorry.
whole time on the
Poor
road,
animal.
I missed nothing. I mean,
Did I ever tell you I played putt-putt behind Animal in Catalina Island one time? I'm like, Mom. She's like, what? I go, you know who that is in front of us? She's like, no, that's Animal from Legion of Doom. I want to meet him. She's like,
dude.
oh, okay, cool. She went up and asked, hey, my son's a big fan. Can he say hi? He's like, yeah, sure. Hey. That dude was big. Like,
Right.
I met Andre the Giant when I was 8. That's the largest human I've ever seen in my life. And I'm even counting perspective of being 8 and now not being 8. But, like, Animal was a big dude. Like, I finally saw their thing, their backstory. They started as bouncers. Yeah, he could bounce people, like, pretty easily. Anyway.
I'd be more surprised if they weren't bouncers.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like,
Like, we used to be bouncers where, like, everybody who's ever seen you knows.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, what's funny is they were so much bigger at the time than every other tag team when they came in. Anyway, this is not the WWE era. This is Magic Mondays.
Pretty magical.
Pretty magical. Fun things happened. The land of green chili.
yeah.
They put green chili on the Magic cards. I thought that was weird, but apparently that's what you do when you're in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Is you put green chili on
Green chili on
everything.
everything.
So it was like, oh, cool. Saitai energy with some green chilies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, don't that get the carrots sticky? No?
Double
Anyway.
sleeves. Double sleeves.
Anyway, congratulations to Seth Manfield with his Sultai energy deck. Congratulations, dude. That was awesome. PTQ. He was shocked that he won. His tweet was really great. I can't believe I just won. Everyone in the top 8 was so awesome. And I'm like, that includes you, dude.
Yeah,
That's
no,
humble brag.
He's his resume speaks for itself at this point. I
Yeah.
think this was one of the only things he hadn't knocked off. He's a 5-time Grand Prix champion.
Yeah,
This was his 5th Pro Tour top 8. He's also a world champion.
I know.
And done it all in a relatively short time. His first Pro Tour top 8 was Pro Tour Fate Reforged.
So that's
So it's actually not that long ago that he had his first Pro Tour top 8. He had Grand Prix success before that. I think it was 2014?
14, so yeah, 3 years.
2013 maybe?
23, 4 years. That's really good.
But in that span, I mean, you saw the growth of somebody who, you know,
Right.
you saw somebody
Took
who's
off.
super intelligent, who's obviously a huge asset to his team because
Yeah.
he flawlessly floats between teams and seems to work well with just about everybody.
Just about everybody, yeah.
Anytime you hear him speak or give a speech, it's nothing but, humble and grateful that he gets to play the sweet game that he loves. And I mean, I think that passion really shows in the, in the record. But,
Yeah, so we had quite a few energy decks. We had a Temur. He, Seth was a Sultai. We had a couple 4 energy, 4-color energy decks, which was really interesting because they varied in a couple different ways. Except when you looked at their sideboard, then they started to they were the exact same thing. But one of the things I found really interesting, and the use of Glorybringer in an energy deck. And again, Glorybringer's not giving you any energy, but it's immediate effects.
right.
So strong being put in there.
And just a huge, huge beast as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming in. It's hitting for damage.
It's coming in hot.
It's coming in
Like,
hot.
no,
I mean,
exactly.
And so but one of the cards that, I don't think it shocks any of the 3 of us that we started to see was Vraska. And she was popping her head in all these energy decks.
Yep.
All of a sudden throughout the tournament. And again, you know, she's considered a mythic planeswalker. But legendary planeswalker, you're creating tokens, but again, that -3 ability, being able to deal with anything on the board.
It's huge.
And, you know, what we see a lot of, especially in these 4-card energy decks, or 4-color energy decks, I apologize, is we see a lot of stalemate. We get to a point where your boards are even, and how are you gonna do it? She's one of those ways. Her ability to remove anything is so powerful, and it's kind of funny because we've talked about, especially with Ixalan, there's not a ton of removal that can deal with everything. There's some good removal, but being able to use her, and then of course, you know, 2/2 black, pirate tokens with menace. That's nothing to shake a stick at.
Nope.
I mean,
it's definitely tough to block. She also does a good job of destroying. I mean, like you were saying, everything.
Yeah.
She destroys like Sky Sovereign councils and you know things like that too, like vehicles that are annoying. Other
the things that are hard to
all
the
that
things that are a lot tougher to remove than just your average creature.
And then you're putting on your opponent to have something to deal with as well.
Right, and
you know,
and again, if
they
you
can't just sit around, or it's going to get bad for you.
Because granted, now I may go ahead and -3/-3 her, so that's 2 things I got to remove. But if you don't hit her right away, then and get rid of her, then I am definitely getting rid of that second thing. So I mean, that is one of the things. The other thing that I found really interesting is seeing a lot of play. Whether it be 2 of them in the deck, whether it be 1 and something in the sideboard, was Scarab God. Now, it's not shocking.
No.
I think everybody kind of agrees. Yeah, this guy's a
jerk.
A house. But the thing with Scarab God, and what's so interesting to me is you have all these different creatures that are coming in and going away, and he's bringing them all back. So how do you take advantage of everything? How do you get everything to that second go round? You're making 4/4 black zombies, copies of all these creatures.
Yeah.
And again, once he's out, he doesn't really go away
from a graveyard.
Yeah. Doesn't matter where.
Yeah.
Just come back to me.
Yeah.
Come back to me, Scarab God. So I don't know. We're starting to see, one of the things we're seeing in the meta, we've always kind of seen a lot of graveyard play, whether you're casting something out of the graveyard, whether you're, the eternalized function out of, Amonkhet and ours, but...
Or whether you're refurbishing a God Pharaoh's gift.
Yeah. Whatever it is. But here's something that's allowing you, it's not just bring a creature back to your hand or put a creature back in play. Like, here's something you're doing every turn, and you're able to basically rebuild your board, truthfully, with stronger things. Because that'll come back as 4/4s.
Absolutely.
And
he himself's still a 5/5 for 5.
Yeah, with no restrictions on attack.
Yeah.
No god restrictions like that happen a lot.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, cool. I'm a 5/5. I'm gonna swing. Oh, and I'm gonna bring back these 4/4s. No big deal.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
But it's extending the games, and to me, it's just one of those interesting things. No longer is this purely a black thing, where it's like, oh, I'm gonna reanimate this, or I'm gonna bring this back from my graveyard, or ooh, whatever. It's cool. We're gonna play this with every color, so it's kind of fun. One of the decks that did really well was the God Pharaoh's Gift deck.
Pascal Maynard.
So here we go. Okay, so one of the cards, God's Pharaoh's Gift, is something we've touched on before, but we've never really, it wasn't anything that we were like, oh my gosh. Beginning of combat, on your turn, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, you create a token that's a copy of that card. So this is also a 4/4 black zombie. And it gains haste until the end of turn. So again, it does the very same thing for the most part Scarab God does. Except, once you put the God's Pharaoh Gift in play, you're not paying for it anymore. It's just every turn you're doing this.
Right.
Now, a card we have talked about several times, and we've noticed its inclusion, is Search for Escanto.
Old dirty search.
And again, the God's Pharaoh's Gift, you're going through, you're finding these cards, you're getting them in, you're getting them out, and you're just constantly turning them over and turning them over and turning them over.
Yep. It's also a way of actually putting the God Pharaoh's Gift in the graveyard itself.
Yeah.
Because the deck plays 4 Refurbish, which is put an artifact from your graveyard back into play. So if I play Search on turn 2 and happen to flip over the God Pharaoh's Gift, I can refurbish it right there, and it comes out pretty quick.
Yeah.
This was definitely one of the coolest decks. I think the coolest part of this deck is it shows how good Pascal Maynard is. I mean, just like, he wanted to play something different. He didn't want to play a bunch of energy mirror matches. He found a deck that was way outside of the established metagame that
way outside.
He thought had a good matchup against these other decks, and he ran with it.
Well,
and obviously, he did very, very well.
I mean, top 8, Angel of Invention is a card we haven't seen in the top 8.
Maybe not.
Maybe
a couple of
early on, but never
some
nothing
rush decks
for sure.
Not,
let's be honest, for sure, nothing recent.
Yeah,
nothing
hasn't been recent.
And even Champion of Wits, Sacred Cat seems to show up everywhere. And he's fun. He's cute. You can pet him. But I mean, it's one of here's an outside the box look and search for Escanta again, showing its muscle. This enchantment, it's like, I remember going through all these flip lands with people, and they're like, well, this is dumb. And you're like, I'm sorry, what?
The search is certainly good. Some card selection.
Because, as Josh, you and I were talking earlier, if you flip it, all of a sudden, game change. Like, you can, remember, you don't have to transform it. Like, you can leave it as just the pure card, going through and scrying and stuff. But when you're able to actually flip it, now you're looking at 4 cards.
Yeah.
Now you're really going through your deck. So it's one of those things that, it's super impressive. And it's fun to see it show up everywhere. There was a Second Sun's Approach. And, of course, the Search for Escanta's in that one. You're going through that. And he only had to run 2 approaches. Mm-hmm. And he was top 8. So we saw 2 weeks ago, the guy was running 3, I think, and then 1 in the sideboard as well. But he only had to run 2 approaches.
Yeah, to me, you basically just need to hit the 1. I mean, especially if you're using search and you have the other things that get rid of the top 3 to 5 cards of your deck. It's pretty easy to cast it 1 turn and trigger it 2 turns later.
Yeah. So, and then going back to Seth. Seth, again, congratulations for the win. He brought a card in, which let's say Thursday, not very expensive. Mm-hmm. But you go and try and get one today. And suddenly people apparently have woke up and drank the Kool-Aid. We're talking about Hostage Taker. Okay? Hostage Taker. 2, 3 for 4. When it enters the battlefield, exile target artifact or creature until Hostage Taker leaves the battlefield. You may cast the card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it was mana of any type to cast that spell. Okay. Energy match. We're stuck. I cast Hostage Taker. I'm taking all your cards.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not only taking it and exiling it, I'm casting it for myself.
Yep.
Because my mana doesn't matter. Okay? This was a card when we were opening our Ixalan packs, we were like, this is really good. We haven't really seen it yet.
Yeah.
Until now.
It's floated around. I mean, and that's the thing. Everyone's spec'd on it,
Right.
I mean, it was sitting at like 12, 13 bucks, dropped down to 9. Now it's hitting about 10 bucks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's great. Whether we'll see next set if it's still there. But it's one of those cards that, the ability on it, it's can you play it?
Mm-hmm. Well,
I think it's great. I mean, it also hits artifacts,
yep.
which is pretty busted. I mean, you'll definitely see some play. I mean, you might even see playing like Commander or something.
Yeah.
Being able, it's really quick, to just steal somebody's Soul Ring and recast it.
I hadn't thought about
pretty
that.
Pretty game changing.
I'm not gonna lie. Oh, look at that! I'll take your soul.
Yeah.
I'll take your soul. No, it was. So I mean,
what I heard.
Yeah, it's true. But looking at Seth's deck, I mean, you have the Hostage Taker. He's running 3 in his main deck. 3 cards you're exiling, and let's be honest, if he's taking them, he's casting them. Mm-hmm. I mean, there wasn't really much he took and just kind of left hanging out there. You've got the Fatal Pushes. You've got Vraska's Contempt. Again, Fatal Push looking so strong still because most of these energy decks, those creatures are just small 2-drop creatures. Right. Just to try and get that quick energy. But again, Vraska's Contempt. I'm a huge fan of Vraska's Contempt. I think great card, especially when you run into all the Chandras that are coming in with the energy decks.
Definitely.
The interesting one for me on here too, though, is on the board is seeing the Deathgorge Scavenger hit that. It's like, speaking of getting that graveyard removal. Not only do you get creature fast, pump, give you some life to mirror match, but
Certainly an awesome card against aggressive decks.
Yeah, well, and so we saw about 60% energy decks for the most part in the tournament this weekend in Albuquerque. But we're starting to see some more things kind of creep in. We saw vehicles come back. There was still Random Up Red was still very viable. We've seen the approaches now. People are starting to run different versions of it. Like we said, we're starting to see you only really need 2.
Yep.
And there's enough stuff to get through your deck really quick and help you draw cards or just scry through to get to that second one. But we're starting to see some different variants.
Yeah.
Again, starting to see some new stuff. Like you said, I don't want to play Energy and have mirror matches all weekend. Yep. What can I create? And so to me, it was kind of fun to see, again, different variant on the Energy. I think we're going to see some more Energy variants. Like,
Definitely.
Sure, we'll still run the kind of some of these things, same things like Long Tusk Cub. This is a great card. Yep. Super easy to make big.
Him, Bristling Hydra.
You know,
be a lot of mainstays.
But how can we get it quicker? How can we? What happens when Christian brings up the same damn card? You know, how do I deal with it? Do I just want to trade my Walking Ballistas? Do I want to? No, I don't want to do any of that.
It's the cool thing about Seth's deck in comparison to the other energy decks too is there's an element of the what used to be the just green-black aggressive decks where you have Rishkar along with Winding Constrictors and Walking Ballistas.
Yep.
So like any game that starts with a turn 2 Winding Constrictor into a turn 3 Rishkar, put a counter on both, and ends up with 2 counters on both. I mean, you look at like turn 3, I have a 4/5 and a 4/4. It's just pretty absurd.
Yeah.
And he has the 4 blossoming defenses in here, let you get really aggressive when you want to, and really cause a bunch of pain for the decks that are trying to remove your creatures in the middle of the game. You just move your curve back a little bit. It becomes very, very difficult for them to get a creature off the board, knowing that you have blossoming defense to back it up. Those burn spells and stuff aren't nearly as effective.
Right. Well, then we walk the planks. All of those cards go away. So, but no, fun weekend again. Congratulations to Seth. There was a lot of team stuff going on this weekend.
Yeah.
Had a really good draft on Friday. That was a lot of fun to watch.
Yep. Hall of Famers too. So the Raptor, Josh Utter-Layton was in, and also Martin Yuza, who's one of my personal favorite players. The dude just plays more Magic than anybody should ever play. Like you'll literally see him you'll see him and it'll be like, all right, Grand Prix in Poland, and it's like the next weekend he's like Grand Prix Chicago. The next weekend they're in Buenos Aires. It's like. What is it? How does he find the time?
I
got a passport. I'm going to use it.
Well, that's it. Well, what he doesn't tell you is he's actually the pilot, so he's the one flying to all these things. He's like, oh, okay, well, I'll take the trip from Poland to Chicago, and I'll just do my layover that weekend. Yeah. And then I'll do the Buenos Aires leg later. Yeah, no, it's awesome. What's interesting, again, we talked about this when Ixalan came out. You're starting to get more families involved. Again, Ixalan's much more accessible for younger kids because you have these pirate themes, vampires.
So teach them.
And you need to teach your kids how to draft right. Okay? Don't be the kid who's like, oh, shiny, I'm going to take this one. Ooh, shinier. No. Teach them. Otherwise, Christian's coming for your kid.
I don't know, man. If I had a kid, I might be like, if it's rare, maybe just have your kid. You have to pay for him anyway. It's like rare draft. If it's shiny or this, maybe that was the criteria the dad said. I don't know.
Hey, if you see dual lands, anything shiny or rare, just grab it.
This symbol.
But Dad, it's not good rare. I don't care.
Shiny on the bottom or the whole card shiny. Take it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
After that, grab whatever you want.
What'd be funnier is if actually these kids really knew what they were doing. They were just hate drafting against Christian the whole time. Probably. They're like, I was here last week. This guy won. Screw this guy. I'm just gonna. Probably. What would he like? Oh, he'd like this one. I'm taking it.
Nobody lets me see a vampire. I'll tell you that.
So proud.
I know. Actually, that would be really cool.
Way to go, kids.
But anyway, it's much more accessible, and so we're starting to see this. But then, and I don't know why in the last 4 or 5 months, maybe they have a new marketing team. But it seems like the family side of Magic, I'm talking about dads and kids or moms and kids, I'm talking about just the community itself, is really starting to publicly come together. I know that sounds weird, because I know the community is really tight, and it's tight, and everyone's super supportive of each other. But now it's like, we're also going to let everybody else in the world know how cool we are with each other. And, it's just weird, we're seeing more top 8 photos from guys from themselves. It's not Magic putting these out. It's like, hey, I was top 8 with Josh, and this was awesome, and like he's such a cool guy. Or congratulations, they were so excited for these people. And it's like you said, it's names we know. I mean, these aren't new names. Like no one here, everyone here, you're like,
Yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah. But it's like, cool. We're all super supportive of what each other's doing. We're looking forward. Each team's doing really well. Each country is starting to produce players. We can't wait for the World Cup.
You saw when Pascal Maynard lost in the top 4 to Seth Manfield. You saw after the handshake there was a hug.
Yeah.
At their table too, just awesome.
You're like, what the heck is going on? But it's interesting to me. Like, I think the public face of Magic is starting to just be more accessible. No longer is it weird, scary guys. Like, we're never gonna break the top 8. We're never gonna have fun. People are going to these Grand Prix, having a great time, whether they top 8 or not. Yeah, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
And that I think is a big difference. And you don't have to have. Granted, we saw Energy dominate about 60% of most decks, but 4-color Energy, Sultai Energy, Temur Energy, like it wasn't one Energy deck, and you're like, okay, well, we all have the same deck, and I don't know whether it's Ixalan. I don't know if people just stopped and looked at, Amonkhet Hours or something, but all of a sudden it was like, ooh, there are all these possibilities. Like, let's try some weird stuff, and it works.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm super excited with where we're at right now, especially in Standard. I think Magic's in a really good place, and hopefully it can just keep building on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going forward, because 2018 is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to. I mean, it's still going to finish out strong.
You guys,
2017.
We're in January. We get to see the Queen.
Yeah.
And again, I really want her to just be. I kind of want her to be broken almost. Like, I want this Queen. I want whatever this Queen that we have coming to just be like, yes, okay, I'm bowing and like.
I hope they make a fake version of the Queen in Unstable.
Oh.
I hope it's like the Unstable Queen.
She's very unstable.
Just a complete spoof of the Queen.
And it's like, bring me cake.
So yeah, we still have Masters. We still have
whatever. I want the Queen.
And then the Queen.
And I'm looking forward to them reprinting Beseech the Queen because clearly it's there. Like it's low hanging fruit.
I hope so.
Take it because I really like that card. All right. So not that it was a bad thing, but something did happen also in Albuquerque where we did have a player disqualification in round 15. Where basically we got to time, we got through turns, and we're playing out, okay, who's going to win? Because we're in round 15, so clearly that's a big deal. So, Josh, explain to us what happened with Yao Zile and Louis Scott Vargas.
So basically they ended their match, and instead of taking a draw, they were attempting to show each other their hands to see if maybe they could figure out like who would have won the game. Because then that person, the other player could would have the chance to concede if they wanted to.
Sure.
So the last round of the tournament, it's all about standings, about how much money you make or how many pro points you make, and it's a big deal for both players. So drawing is a lot of times not the best option for either player, where you're both gonna you can draw both of you into the top 32 instead of one of you in the top 16 and one of you in the top 32.
Right.
So if that's your objective, that's it. Where it went wrong is that in revealing your hands, that's information you already have. You're allowed to, that's information you can reveal. So when they reveal their hands, that's fine. So revealing their hands, trying to see how the game would have played out based on their hands.
Right.
Where it kind of gets out of control is Yao knew that he would win the game if one of his top cards was a specific draw. And so he also flipped that card off the top of his deck and introduced that into the things that they were thinking about. And the problem with that is once he introduced a card that wasn't involved in the game that they played, he was using things outside of the match they had actually played to determine the outcome of the match. So he had gone further to get more information about what would have happened. Like, essentially, if there was a turn 6, would I have top decked the winning card?
Sure.
Which, obviously, I'm with him logically. I'd want to know, too. Like, hey, if we're going to decide who wins this game, like, if the top card of my deck is, a blank or whatever I need to draw, I win.
Yeah.
The problem with that is it's introducing information you wouldn't have had at that point.
Okay.
And it is, it's a weird one to read on paper because it seems that this isn't that big of a deal. But if you don't have a hard line drawn at absolutely no information can be added to this, then where do you draw the line becomes the question. Yep. Like how much information is too much? Like some people well, all he did was reveal the top card of his deck. That's not a big deal. And it's like, okay, would you feel the same if he revealed the top 10 cards of his deck? Or if both players wanted to look at the top 10 cards of their deck to do it? Or at the point where they wanted to now look at, a standings sheet or see how other matches had finished to see how they wanted to do it. Adding in that kind of information now becomes a mucky area of like players needing standings and how much information have you gathered. It also, things like that give larger teams a considerable advantage because larger teams will have more scouts for a team. Something that's often not talked about at professional tournaments, that they do a lot now to actually dissuade scouting, but something that was very, very relevant playing Pro Magic in the past was how big your team was meant how well you could scout.
Yeah.
That meant, by round 2 or 3, you probably knew what every major pro in the room was playing if your team was large, because as soon as your match ended, you would go and gather as much more information as you could about, hey, I want to know what Reed Duke's playing. I want to know what William Jensen is playing. I want to know what the Martin Usos are playing. I want to know that up front, because if I know what they're playing, my opening mulligan decision is a lot different. It can be a much more aggressive mulligan, or I could be keeping a hand that normally I wouldn't be able to keep against a mystery opponent. Things like that. Same with standings, finding out where matches were at while you're playing a match in round 15. You shouldn't have access to what happened in other matches during round 15. It's the same way. You shouldn't have access to this any other information really kind of starts tainting the integrity of what's going on. Well, honestly, it's weird for me, I get it, the Pro Tour, the players have a respect for each other and are good enough that revealing your hands, you can reasonably think this is how the game would have played out, and you can kind of together create the story of that. And I think it is a fair way to decide who would have won the match if you're playing against somebody who's not on your team that you don't know. I think that is a reasonable way. It's still just really weird to me. I've always been in the mindset, play the game. Win, lose, draw. It's actually one of the reasons that I love Magic Online more than real life matches in a lot of instances is playing the tournaments. It's a win or loss. There are no draws. There are no weird sudden deaths. There's very seldom a very bizarre tiebreaker situation. You know, if I thought I was going to get 5th, I very seldom fall to 10th. Because there's not weird draws. There's not stuff like that. And it's, and part of that is you have a clock on both players, so timing's not an issue. I get that it can't happen in real life. But it's relieving playing online sometimes where there's not draws you have to worry about. You don't have to worry about figuring out this weird, awkward tiebreaker math to should I draw in round 7 or 8. Just hey, you know what? Show up for round 7, play your match. I know it's a really weird concept, but play Magic to decide,
who actually wins.
Who actually won the game of Magic.
We've talked before, the three of us, about how knowing that top card can be game changing.
Absolutely.
The new mulligan rule, where if you mulligan down and you get a look at your top card, that's to me the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, because that information
mulligan shot through the roof.
Of course I'm gonna mulligan, because you're basically giving me a scry almost. I can't put it at the bottom, but it's I gotta look at this too. Okay, cool. I feel good.
You can put it on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's legitimately a scry 1.
It doesn't make sense. Opt cost 1. If I am mulliganing,
you don't get to draw, but yeah.
Right, but it's one of those things
it definitely
you're
helps.
Getting a free scry.
Yeah.
And so again, we come back to the situation. If you don't have information, you should never know what your top card is unless you've paid for it previously.
Right.
So to be able to look at that information, that's huge.
And again, I think had this DQ involved a scry, and the card they were looking at was a card that both players had previously seen on a scry, or even one player. I think this is handled very differently if that top card was a scry card. The problem is that top card was not, so it was a random piece of hidden information, which is just and especially playing at the highest level of play,
right. And I don't think it was necessarily he was trying to cheat or anything like that.
No. Oh yeah. On the contrary, I think he was probably the most surprised when they were this results in a DQ. He was probably super surprised.
Wait, what?
I don't see this as being something he was trying to get away with something from. No. That being said, revealing his top card to see if it was the if it was the top deck he needed, that is directly in his favor.
Yeah. So
he's hey, looking at the game from the hands we have face up, I probably don't win. But if my top card is a creature with power 4 or more, I probably do win. So let's flip it. It's he did something outside of the game rules that provided himself with an advantage, and I think that's really where it comes in. Is that he was attempting to generate a larger percentage chance that his opponent conceded in that round by accessing hidden information, which is
So I think, Christian, what we take away from it, just beat your opponent in time.
Just play.
Don't wait, man.
Yeah.
Don't be sitting there thinking. Just go.
Enough of these control decks.
Yeah.
Only
just
red.
We're not
artists.
This is
Third
decks.
Like just
That is
crush.
done in 15 minutes. You get
Oh
a
my
nice long
gosh.
break.
Yeah.
You know,
Go to the
just
bathroom.
You can pick up smoking.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All sorts of bad habits come with
Start
red
heckling
decks.
people from
Mhm.
the back.
You want that? You want that information? You go get it.
Like, oh my god. Anyway,
Get some.
no. It was an interesting thing, and sometimes I think it gets really confusing for people who are like, wait, what did he do? I don't get it. I mean, how often do we really end up with like, okay, I'm going to show you my hand. I think I would have won. You know, because I'm also the jerk who would be like, dude, I totally had you. Like, I'm looking at those cards. It's not impressive.
Well, and a lot of people too look at your hand and say, "Yeah, I don't care."
Yeah.
Yeah, you were gonna win if you had 4 more turns. Maybe you should have sped it up.
Yeah, maybe if you hadn't waited so long. But anyway, so good weekend overall. Great PTQ. Like, I can't. Again, it's so much fun to see all the standard right now and see all the variants of things going on.
It's been a very long time since standard's been this fun.
Been this fun, I know. So anyway, so we got some fun things for you today.
Yeah.
Just in time for the holidays. There it is.
Yeah.
We've got our Magic the Gathering gift pack now available at fine retailers like Game Master in Laguna Hills Mall. They carry it. This is a great way, especially if you don't know what to get your favorite Magic player like Nick Vieira or Tim. What do you get them for Christmas, guys? I mean, they already have everything. Here you go. You get a nice decent sized poster that looks like a lot of fun. Uncle Nickel's on there, although I think he's mad at me, so I don't know how to get it.
Yeah, I don't know if I keep
I don't know
talking
how
about
to.
Uncle Nickel.
Yeah,
I mean,
but you get a nice spin down life counter from I believe that's Hours of Devastation.
no, it's got the Planeswalker.
Oh, it is the Planeswalker.
Yeah,
Planeswalker logo.
So it's the
The-
Planeswalker
you get
logo.
one of each. You get Mark Pool lands. The
Yeah.
art's beautiful on them.
Yep.
They're fun.
All
that's totally
premium.
Cool.
All
Yeah.
premium.
Or shiny.
And that's the great thing is
Holographic.
that most of the places you can find this should be $20 to $25. So
Yeah, you get a pack of Amonkhet, pack of Hours, and a pack of Ixalan.
yo.
And then, of course, you get 2 premium creatures. We get our monkey girl, Kari Zev, legendary creature. When she attacks, she makes a monkey. And Metalwork Colossus. Okay, so here we go. Josh, I asked Christian already. Okay, what are we getting when we got an Amonkhet, an Hours, and an Ixalan? What are we getting? Like, what are we opening?
Dude.
Are we getting a god? I'm
we're-
saying we get a Scarab God in the middle.
We're opening a Scarab God, a Vraska, and
And a house arret?
a Thoughtseize Invocation.
Ooh.
Right?
Okay. See, Josh,
Up the stakes. Up the stakes.
This is why I love Josh. Okay.
So it's a Scarab God Invocation as well.
Jeez.
Okay, first off, if we did that, I feel like Sean's gonna reach through the screen and take this back. And be like, I'm sorry, I have to resell this to you for $200. Like, wait, what? Okay, here we go. Let's find out. What do you want? Do you want
You don't want me opening up the... let me...
You want me to do Ixalan?
Let me do Omniket because
Okay.
I haven't opened anything really good from this.
Okay, here we go. And
Actually, I did.
you're like, wait, I did. Hold on. Wait, which one do you want then?
I want the Ixalan because I want to finally open my own Vraska.
Okay. You want to open your own Vraska?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've gone through a wee bit of product and that card
That
escapes
actually
me.
is really nice.
Seiji is kind of cool. It's you see Chandra, Jace, Liliana, Nisa, and Gideon all basically attacking a very large Nicol Bolas.
And if I'm Nickel apparently winning, which one do you want, Amonkhet or Hours? Which one do you feel good about?
I'll take the Amonkhet.
Should we sign this
And give it away to
Give
Nick
it to-
Vieira for Christmas?
and have Nick Vieira sign it and then give it to David to have in the office to remember?
To remember the loss that he did? I think so. So we'll have Nick Vieira sign it. Yeah, because here's Gideon.
Never
Jerk.
forget.
Never forget.
Never forget.
By the way, I love that like Jason and Liliana are here. That's why you guys won, because they were chilling on the sideboard, ready to
We
go.
just didn't.
We just never did anything. Okay. All right. You want to go? Did you get it? Are we going through?
I'm looking at this just like
You're like, hey,
this would have been a great. I mean, for how I like. Ooh, nice little root bound crag.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, that's
All
always.
right. I don't know if
That's
this will work today.
It's
I
seeing
don't
some
know.
play.
Oh, look, that got fuzzy.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
You gotta
Wait a-
cancel.
Well, what did you guys do? Well, I'm just gonna move it. You probably should get off this camera now. Because I'm just gonna keep doing this since it doesn't work. Okay. Whoa. Uh-oh, what happened? Ooh, okay.
Edifice of Authority and Harsh
Mentor.
Mentor.
That saw some play this weekend.
That's finding its way into decks.
Alright, here we go. Let's see if we change the fuzziness. Did we change the fuzziness? Hey! Good job, Alfredo. You're awesome.
You're awesome.
So Harsh Mentor actually saw some run. And ran him up. Alright, here we go. Tragic Lesson, Oasis, Marauding, Figaro. Ooh, Desert of the Fervent. Feral Prowler.
This would be a fun.
Hey, I got a River Hopo. Okay, here we go. And Hour of Eternity. Ooh, and a foil. So here we go. Hour of Eternity.
Ooh.
So exile X target creature cards from your graveyard. For each card exiled this way, create a token of that card except it's 4/4 and Black Zombie. Hey, alright, cool. That's really expensive.
Yeah, I think that's why it
probably doesn't see much play.
Especially with XX, they could have done away with one of them blues.
I'll just do the Scarab God.
Yeah.
Or Godpharaoh's Gift. Either way. But yeah, cool. So, alright. So we got a couple fun cards here.
Yeah.
Again, this is one of those things. Game Master Laguna Hills Mall, your local card shop. This is just one of those fun things. You don't know what to get your favorite gamer. They're into Magic. Here's a cool little gift pack. They get the cool poster to remind me that I lost as Nicol Bolas. They'll probably put this right above my desk here at work, I'm guessing.
Maybe just hang it in here.
Yeah, we can hang it here. It's fine. That actually would be less.
I wonder if that fits in one of the unrivaled dice trays, maybe.
Oh, we'd have to cut it. I think it's a little long. But anyway, definitely run out and pick this up. It's a great, I'd say stocking stuffer, but you have to have a pretty big stocking for that box. But hey, there you are. Definitely run it out. Beautiful lands, whole bunch of fun. Guys.
Yeah, they're great lands.
Yeah, they really are pretty.
When does Explorers come out?
Explorers of Ixalan?
The swamp has a shooting star in the background, if you can see the swamp. It's like directly above the hook-shaped thing.
Is that a shooting star?
It's a shooting star.
Or do you think that's one of the...
Or UFO.
Ours boulder meteorites coming down to crush everyone?
Being that they're called shooting star lands?
Okay, fine, whatever. They all have shooting stars on them.
They do.
That's
I'm just seeing that now.
That's pretty fancy.
Don't judge me.
Okay,
this is the first good box I've ever gotten, so I'm excited.
Yeah. So Explorers of Ixalan, funny enough, you should mention that. We're gonna have that coming up on the show. Again, another way to play Magic. It comes with
basically Magic the board game.
Magic the board game. So we're definitely gonna be trying that in a couple weeks. Next week, though, we're gonna preview Iconic Masters.
Ooh.
Okay, so
it is here.
It's coming. It's a week from Friday, which means a week from Friday. You know what we're drafting. I mean, you know what we're drafting, right?
All right?
You know what we're drafting? I mean, we're drafting.
Right.
We may have to have a special Thursday edition of Magic Mondays, maybe crack a box or two. But we'll see.
So is there going to be a pack war?
I mean...
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. What is the big creature? I mean... Oh, I'm going to have to actually go and research. Okay, anyway, each of us are going to pick anywhere from 5 or more of our favorite cards that we're looking forward to coming out. Talk about why, our history with them. This is the kind of the fun thing with these sets is, oh my gosh, this brings me back to...
Right.
Fill in the...
I remember when.
Beast of the Unicorn.
Boom, yeah. And so we'll definitely be previewing that. We're going to be playing Explorers of Ixalan coming up. Maybe we'll bring Nick Vieira back, I guess.
Or we can throw it out there. Someone will stop by. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we'll get someone. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I almost said good at Magic, but then you guys would replace me. Because I can't have done much worse. And at some point we'll have Nicol Bolas get his revenge on all of you. But anyway, so that's what we've got coming up. And of course, we'll have a special Thanksgiving episode. Talk about what we're thankful for in Magic. Mm-hmm. Some of the favorite cards we've had in our past. Mm-hmm. Some of our favorite deck types. Mm-hmm. R.I.P. Land Destruction.
Second talk. Bring that force back.
Seriously though, right? When is the Diving Top going to be reprinted? Probably.
I hate you.
I know.
This is why we're replacing you. We apologize.
Is this why?
Divining Top is the worst card ever printed.
Ever?
ever predict. It is the worst. It causes more time mess ups than Shahrazad.
Ever?
It is just the worst.
Ever.
It's just the worst.
I don't know.
I can't even fathom how they missed that was going to be a problem.
Hold on,
guys.
Like,
wait, one colorless. Somebody just take 30 seconds.
Hold on, guys. I've got to.
Sack my
land.
land.
Tap this. I'm gonna look. Hold on. Okay.
Shovel. 30 more
All
seconds.
right.
Hold on. I'm gonna play this again. Okay, I'm gonna do. Wait, it's your turn. Okay, now it's my turn.
Single-handedly killed Legacy.
Anyway.
Right. Now we're getting loose.
Okay.
All right.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching Magic Mondays.
Appreciate you.
Josh, David. Again, have fun this weekend. Go out and draft. Let us know what you've been drafting. Let us know how you've been doing.
Please support your local gaming stores.
Support your local gaming stores. You'll find Christian at Game Master on Friday. Go, feel free. Make sure you sit next to him and just draft as though it made no sense.
It's all right.
Just screw him completely up. It's great. Anyway,
I'm finally going to go Pirates.
There you go. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week on Magic Mondays. Have a good one. Sorry, Uncle Nick.